are going to be on the blue side. Kagendra on that reactive red. So let's get into the ban phase here. The Dharma being the first ban for Boom, going against Ihans. Ihans has had some fantastic performance on this pick.
Yeah, especially for the Dharma. I think this is one of their most big for the side of Kagendra during the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which is why Boom recognizes that, and banning it is going to be important. The Liang ban, though. I love that ban for Boom Esports.
Yeah, Boom Esports, if you see the Liang ban, you're going to be like, hey, is this opening routes for me to go for those assassins here?
Exactly.
But it does give you a few options as well.
Getting
so
excited,
for Boom Esports, if you have to look over to those strong jungle invasions in the early game here, maybe Boom Esports, they go for the Luna, they go for the Jing, and they get immediately countered by things like the Pei or like the Augur for that fast tempo.
They say the Luna being banned out here is going to be obviously a pretty of a kibosh on that pick, unfortunately, but it does mean that obviously the likes of the Maisha and Nai, the Ali being picked up here by the side of Boom, going over to Danny. Obviously, this is a player that's had a lot of pressure on him, right, within the PKL, and now it's his time to shine on the international stage.
Exactly. Like, to Blam's point, Danny is like a very recent introduction to the Boom Esports lineup here. They were saying that, hey, Danny, you didn't really perform up to par to really replace all the previous farming players here, but you gotta give him props. He's handled so much pressure to put himself into PKL second seed here, but going back to the draft here, Kagendra, going back to basics here, drafting that Yang Jian that they lost to Bigatron Zanq in Game 7 of IKL Grand Finals.
Man, that is going to be crazy. This is one of the things that I love about this. When you go to the red side, you open that up. A lot of openings for the side of Kagendra. So now, even with the Maestro and the Wheat open, they're not going to be picking up for Tatsuri. But I do believe that's a good pickup against the Yangjian.
Oh, absolutely. That's going to be the anti-tank mage Angela, right? Like, that is definitely going to rip through Yangjian. Weira is going to have to really look at his positioning with this on.
And talking about Angela, or also known as Scorchette, so coming for this pick, why is this such a good anti-tank? It's because singular burst damage. If they drop this Yangjian as a singular tank for the side of Kagendra, you will be punished heavily if you get hit by those Blazing Brilliances.
Yeah, one thing that the idea that I want to see here for Kagendra is find somebody that has a good engage in case they need somebody to go to the backline, go to the Angela, take out her shield so you can go for CC against her.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, right now, obviously, Kagendra have obviously drafted in the Q1, which is a great pick into the mid lane here against the Angela, because obviously that huge AoE circle that you have to try and tag her before she uses the Blazing Brilliance to use that CC immunity here. But we are going to be going into the second part of the ban phase, banning out the Mai Yin here, obviously. For themselves of Boom Esports, they don't want to give that over to Ihans, rather than sort of like, right, okay, let's keep this alive for Miji.
From what we're seeing here for the side of Boom Esports, they're going to be banning the Ma Yin, and even the Dun has been banned here by the side of Kagendra. They're kind of expecting a Boom Esports that they're going to be picking up a tank here for this side.
Exactly. You see the first few picks here coming in from Boom Esports. The early Diadem, very strong side lane going into that 4th minute mark. You have the Angela in those early to mid game plays. So, what does Boom Esports lack? They lack a solid frontliner here. That is exactly what Kagendra is trying to limit Boom Esports lineup. Potentially, we might see Carl go into that monkey sort of situation for that tank role.
Yeah, I think it's a good pickup, right? Like, I mean, especially banning out the D-Range Jet there, obviously getting that that token off of the board with the damage reduction from that ultimate as well is definitely a potential avenue that Boom could go for. But Ihans is going for a little bit more late game, right? He's going for the Charlotte.
Yeah, there's an option for Boom Esports to go for the Agudo here if they want to just put distance between them against the side of Kagendra, because there's a lot of close range power here from the Charlotte, from the Youngtian. So Byron on the side of Boom Esports is honestly a good pick, but Charlotte is going to have a heyday on the Clash lane here.
At the very least, Boom Esports, their side lane are looking pretty consistent coming in towards the first game here. Your problem is, this is a zero-tank lineup here coming in for the side of Boom Esports here, unless Miggy goes for a tank or sustain build on that Byron. Boom Esports, if they lose at the early game, it will look pretty difficult for this lineup.
Yeah, one thing that I'm scared of here for Boom Esports is 2 big combos that they picked up in the first game. So that's already out of the picture for the next game. So if ever they lose this, it's a big loss for them.
It's very expensive loss. Exactly as you said there, Dash. Like, it's the Ali, it's the Diadem, it's the Pei, it's the Byron. That's a big draft. The only one you can really sort of expend there is the Angela.
And we were to look at both of these drafts, right? For the side of Boom Esports, yes, it's expensive, but what does it give? Strong early to mid-game tempo here. If Carl is able to play around that early rotation, get those go into the pockets of Danny and also Miggy, their mid-game, especially the 10-minute team fight, will be monstrous here. But that comes into a sacrifice. Their late game will be